Good morning! It is Morning Brew with
Kiki
and Lake. Cheers. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is cold here in Massachusetts. Yeah. It's, I think, 16 degrees when I woke up.
Tropical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so today is definitely going to be a multiple-parter, but if you subscribe and go to our YouTube, Lakin has it so it just comes out as one.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us on YouTube without having to go to part 2, part 3, maybe part 4, definitely go to our YouTube. It's the same handle, Morning Brew, Kiki and Lake, on YouTube. So, here we go.
I have PTSD. Okay. Yesterday, something happened. It took a large part of the day of Lakin and I on the phone with the same exact person, the same exact people getting transferred. It ended up with Lakin, not me, usually me.
Yeah.
Lakin literally screaming,
Not my best moment, but it had to be done.
On the phone. The PTSD comes from the fact that our cable bill, is crazy. And Lakin has a whole bunch of streaming apps. So I'm like, hey, let's go through all of the streaming apps that you have. Let's try to bundle things on the cable bill. It'll make the cable bill more expensive, but it will be less for her. And then we can just kind of work it out.
Yeah.
So that was the easy enough intention.
Yeah. It kind of took a turn yesterday.
It did. We were on the phone for over 2 hours. I also had to... My husband just did a creepy wave through the window. He's working a weird shift, so
He's gone now.
Anyway, that was very Jack Nicholson shining. Anyway, it ended up I had to travel to the name of the company's store, trade in my modem because it was 3 generations too old. I got that. I'm like, yippee, we're all set. I come back. Nothing is working.
No.
I make a simple phone call. Hey, how do I get this turned on? And as I said, 2 hours later, it was finally rectified. It was so frustrating.
Yeah, it was. Dude,
so I enjoyed. Yeah. Lakin went to work. I'm like, woohoo, look at this. I know I'm behind on the game. I'm like, I can finally start watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Lakin came home last night. I'm like, let's catch up on our Handmaids because now we have Hulu, and all of the things. Life in the TV world's going to be amazing for us. So we do that. We know that today's an early busy day. We're going to get up and say hi to you guys. I go up into my room, but I always need a little something to put me to sleep. So I first try what I usually do, which I'm going to leave it out, and it didn't work. And then I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to watch another episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I have to go upstairs and help you with all of that.
So I go to put on Game of Thrones, you got to put in your Wi-Fi, all of that. All right, no problem. Simple text to Lakin. She gives me the password. Okay, I'm in. I'm in on my Wi-Fi that's called Shady Maple Manor that the guy from the company yesterday referred to as Shitty Mipple Manor. So now maybe you know what I was dealing with on the phone yesterday. So
that was just the start of it.
It was so painful. It was so painful.
You should have texted me.
Well, you were tired, but anyway,
I was listening to my book.
So I went to go watch Game of Thrones, and I went. It's on my phone. Lakin gave me all the information. Here's all of the usernames, the passwords. We have 2 different kinds because even though it's on our TV, long story. Okay, irrelevant. Anyway, I couldn't get on. The sign in not correct, and I know it's correct because I did it earlier in the day. I have PTSD from it, so none of that. I'm like, okay, maybe I am doing something wrong that has Lakin's password. I'm gonna watch some Netflix. Yep. Nope.
No, can't do that.
All right, let me try the Hulu. No. So nothing. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to bed. That my brain cannot take any more technology.
Streaming service technology.
So this morning, I wake up and I say, Alexa, what's the weather?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
It's because she's not connected to the new Wi-Fi. I have to do that.
You know what the weather is, Alexa? It's freezing. Cold AF.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Shut all the way
Take
up.
a look at the help
Shut all the
section
way
in
up.
your Alexa app.
Alexa off. Alexa off.
Okay. Good morning, Kiki.
Good morning. It's Morning Brew. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Lake.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, that was crazy yesterday. And this morning.
So nothing's working.
No. I am tech support up in here.
Yeah, tech
so
support.
I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it.
When we do Kiki's Academy, she's known as Mrs. B. She's our technology, janitorial, and snack provider.
Yep.
For Kiki's Academy.
Yes, I am. Oh man.
Okay, so
but
I gotta get my brain.
We really gotta get into the Real Housewives.
We do.
Because I was laughing a whole lot last night.
Whew, yeah. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was really something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well,
so
this is definitely going to be 3-parter.
I don't know. Let's not make any promises we can't keep.
Well, I know is we're already about to be on part 2.
I know. Let's not threaten them with a good time.
Okay.
Do you want to end this and then we'll just start fresh for part 2?
Sure. All right. So we're going to go to part 2 where we're going to do the recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion.
Right. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Ooh, I need vodka in this.
We're here with part 2. Morning, bro.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to start talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills part 2.
Reunion.
Okay, yes. So it started off last night about the Kyle and Morgan. Kyle saying, she didn't sign up for this. She didn't ask to be in the spotlight. She's very uncomfortable. Andy brings up the point. She's already famous.
Yeah. Everyone already knows her.
Yeah,
you're in the music world, you know her.
She's in the public eye already.
I'm sorry, but even JoJo Siwa mentioned Morgan Wade.
Yeah. Okay?
So it's not just Kyle and all that
right.
is bringing her into the
So
light.
while Kyle is talking in circles about why all of these reasons of, it's not Morgan's fault, she didn't want this attention, blah, 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 blah. I say to Lakin, she doesn't want the attention. She doesn't want all of this talked about. She doesn't want this a topic of conversation. But they made the video as lesbian lovers with Kyle and her making out.
Yeah.
Right?
So if she don't want the public eye, why is she doing that?
Yep. And guess what? The minute I said that, Andy Cohen said the same exact thing.
Yes, he did.
So, I'm done with it. I'm all the way done with it.
Who cares? Literally, who cares? Your marriage is messed up. You wanted to separate. You now found a girlfriend. Now you're dating.
Before they separated,
or whatever the case is. So what? You have a girlfriend. Who cares? What's the big deal about it? I really don't get it.
It's literally 2024.
2025.
Oh
it's
my
actually
gosh.
2025.
I don't know because I didn't have Alexa to ask.
Oh my God.
what the date was for today.
Anyway. Okay, Kyle Morgan, bye.
Then
just bye.
They get back into the PK stuff. They want to talk about Dorit and Kyle's friendship, and they get into the PK stuff.
If I was Dorit, there's no friendship. There's no friendship. Nope, you crossed the line, there's no friendship. Bye.
Yep.
See you on your way.
Yep. And then Bo said, Kyle, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Like you misrepresented yourself, or if you're omitting information, it's basically you're lying because you're not coming forth with the truth.
Yeah.
And Kyle just couldn't see, you know, or doesn't want to see, shall I say, herself in a negative light. And it was absolutely ridiculous. And when you thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous.
I know, Andy asked,
have you talked to PK, you know, since?
Well, yeah, I texted him and called him after Oceanside.
Come on, Kyle.
We don't need her.
Come on, Kyle.
I'm over it. You know what? Figure out your own life and then come back when you're ready. Yep. But also the whole thing of like, Dorit was saying about the text. I'm not showing you the text. I'm not showing you. And then right there at freaking Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
there they are, whipping it out, reading it. So why is that fair? That's
Prior to that, she visited No, or was it after? It doesn't matter.
It was the day after.
She visited Bose, and Bose was like, you need to show her the text, and she was like, she can go F herself. But no, because then she went to Chuck E. Cheese and showed everybody but Dorit, the person that this is all about.
She needs to get her life reevaluated.
That just wasn't good. It really wasn't. And then Bose had the wellness party. Bose calls her out on again. Okay, she's going to show it. Mm-hmm. It kind of put her in a bad light because she's basically saying, like, you keep all my secrets. It wasn't just jokes and memes.
Yeah, no jokes and memes.
And then because Kyle got exposed, she goes running out in the street in her bathrobe with the person that she's done wrong to, chasing after her, trying to console her.
Yeah.
So...
But she's just not seeing it, because even when Dorit was like, if I was doing this with Mo, how would you feel? She don't want to, she just brushed that off, like, okay.
She said,
I highly doubt you would be, if it was happening to you.
Yep, and she said, you broke girl code, and then Kyle tries to deflect and goes, well, when you showed Erica my text message to you last year, that was breaking girl code. And she goes, but we weren't friends.
Yeah.
You just got on a video and telling everybody we're not the friends that you said that we were. Mm-hmm. And then Kyle tried to defend it, and then Kyle's crystal that she brought to ward off the evil and to be, have her clarity and be at peace.
Calm and all that.
This crystal.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Falls on the floor.
Yeah, and it was not just once but twice.
Yep.
So you need to get rid of that crystal and do some cleansing.
Oh, she needs to recharge the crystal.
Yeah, she needs to go.
You don't mess with that stuff.
No.
But whatever. Whatever. It was just.
I've never seen someone hold a crystal and it just to the floor.
So then they offer the olive branch to each other. They're going to try to work on their friendship. We'll see what happens when they come back next season.
Yeah, who's even coming back next season?
And then they bring out Tilly.
I don't know about her. I really don't know about her. She's a little too kook for me.
Yeah. She's something else. She's something else. Not only did Tilly come out, her boobs were out as well.
They were.
They were all out there in her bright gold with all of her.
It was like a yellow
jewels.
Gold. Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much.
And then she does her laugh. I mean, yeah. And apparently she gets all of her money from The Simpsons. That's where she landed all of her fortune, enough to afford the 24th. What I could do with $24,000.
No, I know, but I mean, it wasn't.
Hilton. She comes out.
She clearly got her face redone very close to her coming out.
Oh yeah, she had a ton of makeup. She had a ton of
her lips were redone and all that.
Yeah, she had a ton.
She's Kathy Hilton. She do whatever she wants.
She comes out and then she's trying to say, amongst being Chinese, from a Venetian.
And then they said, well, how did she find out? She goes, she looked it up on her phone. Come on, Kathy. Yeah. Where are you at, girl?
Don't let me call up
let me look it up right here.
My dial genealogy. Anyway, so but they're like, you really brought out the shade, you know. And she said she thought it was the housewives that brought out the shadiness in her.
Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, you shady.
Yeah, she's shady, but she's allowed to be, you know, sly about it.
Yeah, and then they sadly, once again, Garcelle, here comes the Hiltons talking about their life. They brought out about Kim, that she is not doing well, that now she's living
was she
in
ever doing
Florida.
well?
You know, when she wasn't even doing well on Little House on the Prairie, because when she was on Little House on the Prairie, remember she had that.
Oh yeah, she had that.
She had the leg that was shorter than the other, and then they had to make her the special shoe so she could play baseball with all the other kids.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, she was doomed from the beginning. That poor.
Well, everybody,
poor Kim.
You got to go to part 3.
So, with all of that being said about Kim, I wish her well. I hope that she can find peace and sobriety in her life, because it's very, very sad.
It's been a long time, so
yeah,
I just feel bad for them.
So then it's on to Sutton. And they start showing Sutton as the horrible person that she is, and recapping all of her repulsive moments and behavior during this season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, but the one thing that I really enjoy is she goes out and she does all of these really gross, horrible things, and then she turns around in a second and starts crying, and it's like, these terrible people. You're the terrible person, and wipe up those fake tears. No one gives a crap that you're crying. Everyone's pissed off that you're already saying something nasty about everybody else.
Exactly.
What puts her here?
I don't know. I mean, the season began with the ridiculous sisterhood. We are bound together
by this ribbon.
The sisterhood forever.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Break. Okay. Sutton, you are a pretentious, deplorable, awful, deplorable means awful, person. You're awful.
Fake AF.
You're an awful person.
Go away.
You have issues that you need to deal with, because your daddy issues, which I'm not going to make light of your father committing suicide, because that is a traumatic experience, but you have such a need to be superior and feel wanted over everybody else. I mean, when they went down to Georgia, we saw what was going on in that house with your mother. Okay,
there's clearly issues there.
Yeah, deal with your issues. Stop trying to make everybody look as bad as you are feeling.
Yeah.
And Erica is right. You come after women when they are at their lowest. Yep. You have done it time and time again.
Yeah, I think this is like her 3rd time doing this.
It is horrible.
Other than all the other little digs that she's been doing.
Horrible how she acts. Absolutely horrible.
No.
And she tries to defend everything by saying, well, you did this. Well, you did. You know what? Stop it.
For tat. Stop being baby about it.
You're in your golden years. Stop it.
Yeah.
It is just
she really needs to get some help.
Bad.
She just needs to get help. She's just not, I don't know. She's just not with it.
No, Bo said she takes no accountability for anything.
No.
And she wanted to try to argue with her. And then, Garcelle, oh, well, I don't think it would. No, be quiet.
Worry about yourself.
Yeah, stop.
Worry about yourself, because this one, she's digging a hole for herself. And you being her mouthpiece is not helping you either.
No, I think that she's kind of learned that lesson. Well, I mean, we're not going to see her anymore, so...
Bye.
That's a whole nother thing that will happen for the part 3.
Take you and your Jackson gloves with you.
Jackson gloves?
Michael Jackson. And I said Jacksonville because...
Do you remember when I said I had a bomb drop for you about
I've been waiting patiently.
About one of the housewives? Mm-hmm. Garcelle is Haitian. Yeah. She was born in Haiti. Mm-hmm. Well, she moved here.
Here?
And she grew up.
Where?
In Peabody, Massachusetts.
And that's why she's acting?
And that's the way she's acting.
What?
We're going to have to take her We're gonna have to take her her statehood from Massachusetts away, all the way away. Yeah.
Seriously?
She is from Massachusetts. From
she
Peabody.
came here when she was little.
At 5 years old.
Came to?
Yep, and lived here till she was 12, and then she took off to go be a model.
Okay, so what?
Yeah. How does that come from?
Okay, well, you know what, Garcelle? You need to come back to Massachusetts and learn.
Yeah.
Come over
to our house and let's reschool you on what it's, is.
To be a true asshole.
To be a true masshole.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because remember we were like, oh, Dorit's bringing out her Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, this one is from Peabody.
Okay, well, we all know how New England feels about Connecticut, but Dorit's on top of that.
Yep, she really is. So anyway, let's get back to Sutton. Then Andy brought up about how when Dorit was talking about Jagger and what he was going through and asking if they were getting divorced, it was a moment. It was a mommy moment. It was something that, she felt comfortable discussing with all of the women. Yeah. And here comes Sutton. All right, y'all. We're going to get on the bus. We're taking long.
We've been here for a long time. Well, you know what?
She goes.
Yeah.
So she blamed that. Yeah, she.
This reminds me of a gremlin.
She blamed that on production that they told her
to hurry. They said we had to go. They said I had to interrupt. Okay, well, interrupt better than we gotta go. Been here for too long.
They gave several examples of how they have done that in a polite way.
Sucks.
She does suck. You're right.
That's the end of that. She just sucks.
You're right. She does suck. So then things just start getting very down and dirty between her and Dorit. They're bringing everything up. Dorit brings up the Queen of Sheba thing, which, in retrospect, the wallet comment, which none of the women agreed with. So Sutton must really be hurting inside from that.
Yeah.
And Kyle even went so far as to call it disgusting, which was the proper adjective because it was. But when Dorit comes back and she's like, "You sound like you're the Queen of Sheba. You live on a main road." Well, that's very catty. Who cares if she's living in a multi-million-dollar house in Bel Air on a main road, Yeah. But I get Dorit's just mad. Like, she's mad. This woman took no accountability. She was terrible. And then Dorit starts it. Where's the woman? She must have been on the anti-anxiety medication because she was staying calm.
Yeah.
And then Dorit's like, where's the Sutton we know? Where's the eyes?
Yeah, where's the
eyes? Beady eyes,
Yeah.
And all that. Where is she? Where is he? And she goes, well, wait, where's the girl that calls everybody here the C word? She goes, I'm right here. By the way, she
does use that word like it's nothing.
Well, I remember years ago when Erica brought that word onto the show, and it was like
because she had her necklace, and Sutton was pissed.
What? Sutton wasn't on the show then.
It wasn't Sutton?
No, because it was her first year. Sutton wasn't on the show. But Erica used the word again, and she, I think, called her it, and she got, offended, of course. That word isn't for everybody. If you're British, which, Dorit is married to I'm going to give her
a pass.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a pass because they use that word quite a bit. But anyway, so they're going at it. She's calling her Southern Miss Manners. And then all of a sudden she brings out the real Sutton.
Yep,
and then Dorit, Sutton. And then Dorit goes, oop, there she is. And
that was it.
Here she comes.
Yeah.
And then they leave us on the cliffhanger
they do.
of the implosion that is about to happen. And I'm here for it.
Part 3 reunion.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah. So part 3 reunion will be them, continuing their fighting. I'm sure we're going to talk about Erica.
Yeah, because I haven't really talked about her yet. And even though she did have me laughing with all her sidebar comments.
Gosh, she was so funny last night.
Yeah, that was good.
All of it. And then Garcelle's gonna make her
disappearance.
Yep, her exit off of the show, which
she don't even clink for the drink.
Yep, no, she don't clink for the drink. No, she just takes off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. That's what happened. So what are you doing today?
I'm going into work to do some social media stuff, and then getting the kids, and then go back to work for the night.
Right, and I'm about to go do school and then head down to the barn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's clink the drink.
Clank the drink.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.